Today on Eagle Nation News, we take a look back on all of our best work of the 2024-2025 school year. First up, Bradston Swick brings Prosper together to remember September 11th. Next up, Nula Adams sees how the Prosper IC band programs support each other. Last, Callie Swick sees how the Prosper IC cheerleaders cheer for each other. All this and more on today's edition of Eagle Nation News. Good morning, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us. I'm Maddie Kev.
And I'm Imogen Perez, bringing this week's news. ENN starts
right now. Welcome back, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us again here at Studio 301.
Today's Wednesday, May 21st, and for today's weather, there's a high of 87 and a low of 61. Expect clouds most of the day with it clearing up later tonight.
This weather is finally starting to make it feel like summer, and I just can't wait to be relaxing by the pool.
Yes, Maddie, I can't wait for all the summer activities, especially traveling.
Well, Imogen, this show is all about traveling back to see some of our best work over the year.
On a much more serious note, Bradston Swick brings Prosper together to remember the crisis that struck our country over 24 years ago on September 11th, 2001.
The World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
On Tuesday, September 11, 2001, 2,996 Americans lost their lives from an act of terrorism on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. On this day, America's foundation of freedom was shaken in just less than a 3-hour time span. Now, 23 years later, here at the Prosper Fire Department, Prosper residents are gathered to recognize and never forget what happened on that day.
We do this event every single year, and it's our way of never forgetting, and you can see on the glass in big letters that we will never forget. When we talk to kids across different schools, a lot of them know about it, they're familiar with it, they know it happened, they know it was part of history, but they don't really know the details, how tragic it really was. They've never watched the videos. 3,000 people died within an hour of each other.
Many first responders remember what they were doing on that day as they had to act quick to save innocent lives.
At about 8:46, 8:47, my partner Mario came into the classroom, interrupted the session, told me to turn on the TV. An airplane hit one of the towers. And what I remember was turning on the TV, and there was this gaping hole in the side of the North Tower, and we started to prep our team to get ready so that we could respond to wherever we were called to respond.
Chief Blassingame hopes to bring awareness to the brave men and women who fought against adversity through this memorial.
343 firefighters died in one day, and that's roughly about 6 times the amount of firefighters that we have here in Prosper. So we have a duty to them, and that gave all. They gave their life and affected their families and their friends and the fire department, and we want to pay respect to them.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Bradston Swick.
This story won second place in the National Quill and Scroll Writing, Visual, and Multimedia Contest and first place in the ATPI Fall Contest.
Way to go, Bradston, and thank you for creating such a beautiful way to memorialize such a tragic time in our country's history.
Hollywood is nonstop. Stay tuned. Talent Talk is up next.
It's time to start your morning off right. Get a taste of home with crisp hash browns, specialty pancakes, and more. There's something for people of all ages. Visit Jam and Toast in Frisco today. Family owned, locally loved.
Just because the school year is ending doesn't mean Hollywood news is.
Neil Adams is in studio with this week's Talent Talk.
Thanks, Imogen. Singer Tucker Pillsbury, known more commonly as his stage name Role Model, is branching out in his career. Just 2 days ago, Tucker took to Instagram and announced that he will be joining the cast of an upcoming rom-com starring Natalie Portman and Mark Ruffalo. And this is not the first time Tucker has had conversations around acting. Recently, in an interview with Audacity Music, when asked about his stage name, Tucker said, quote, "In some ways, I regret not just using my legal name," to which the interviewer, Mike Adam, offered up the solution of starting up on some acting roles that would be under his name rather than Role Model. Actors pursuing music and musicians pursuing acting is very common, but I think this still caught a lot of fans off guard. But this actually isn't Tucker's first acting job, as he's appeared in several of his own music videos, as well as starring in Lizzie McAlpine's Pushing It Down and Praying video. Being a huge fan of Role Model myself and seeing him in concert this February, I know just how talented he is, not just as a vocalist, but as a performer as well. So I am super excited for him to make his debut in the movie world, and I cannot wait to see how this new role will shape his career. And speaking of new roles, new cast members have just been announced for the upcoming Hunger Games movie, Sunrise on the Reaping, based on the book Suzanne Collins released just this March. This will be the 6th movie adaptation in the series and takes place between the prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and the original books, covering Haymitch Abernathy's games. So far, Lionsgate has announced that Joseph Zeta will be playing Haymitch, Ray Fiennes as President Snow, Maya Hawke as Wirrus, Lily Taylor as Mags, Kelvin Harrison Jr. as Beatty, Jesse Plemons as Plutarch, and new characters Wyatt Callow being played by Ben Wang, Whitney Peake as Lenore Dove Baird, and McKenna Grace as Maisley Donner. New cast members are released regularly, so definitely keep an eye out for more additions. I have not had a chance to read the book yet, but I am a massive Hunger Games fan and will definitely be watching the movie when it comes out November of next year. But what do you guys back at the desk think of the casting so far?
I know this might anger some people, but I've never seen any of the Hunger Games movies, but the casting's great.
Imogen, that might just be the craziest thing I've ever heard. I mean, I'm a Hunger Games stan.
Well, unlike some of the characters in the Hunger Games, our seniors have made it out alive.
Shemaya Landor is at the stadium to give us a rundown of what to expect at graduation tomorrow.
Thanks, Maddie. Graduation will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Children's Health Stadium. The doors will open at 6 for seating. Guests cannot mark, block, or save seats. No reservations will be available. Parking spaces are available in each lot and available for first come, first serve. Graduates will exit the turf field on the north side of the stadium next to the community room. Prosper ISD recommends all families have a meeting place with their graduates outside of the stadium. Once again, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you all. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Shemaya. We're going to miss so many of our seniors, including our very own Ian and seniors. Shout out to Christina, Isabel, and Bradson. We're going to miss you so much, but can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Here's one of our favorite feature stories from the year.
Nuala Adams plays the tune of this story.
It's playoff season in Prosper, Texas, which means an electric student section, high-stakes games, and most importantly, the Mighty Eagle Band. But as national competition was quickly approaching for band, Prosper's first playoff game seemed a little quiet.
One of our big goals for the fall season is the support of the football team. Football is such a big deal, and because our team's so competitive, we get to be competitive too. The way the schedule worked out this year, it just happened to be, that overlapped, with playoffs. And, our support for the football team is so huge that I knew we were going to be just a huge hole in the game. And so my first thought was how are we going to do this? How are we going to be able to support the team?
And that question was quickly answered. But it was who answered that surprised many, as it wasn't just any local band. It was our crosstown rivals.
You guys have a game on Thursday, they've got a game on Friday, there's nobody that's going to be there. Would you be willing to bring a band? So I had an emergency officer meeting that morning before class. I know it's a little weird, being rivals and all. I think it's an opportunity to pay it forward. We might be in Grand Nationals 3 or 4 years from now and have the same thing happen to us, so I think it was the right thing to do.
For both the Prosper and Rock Hill Band, actions like this are a straight reflection of how our school district stands out and is being heard even past Prosper.
We were hearing about it from bands at Grand Nationals. A parent stopped another parent from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and they had seen the article and just thought that was, the coolest thing, that this band community is super unique.
And although crosstown rivals are known to not get along very well, this special moment was able to capture the district's motto through music.
We tried to build a positive culture, that it's about the community, about supporting our team. Yes, we're competitive with our marching band like Prosper is today in Indianapolis, but we also see the larger picture. And as we say, we are Prosper, we are one. It's just lip service if you don't back it up. And so this was an opportunity to back it up.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News,
Love you, Rock Hill Band. Thank you.
I'm Nuala Adams.
This story won ILPC Top in Texas, which means that is the #1 feature story in the state.
Nuala and Bradson worked nonstop and put so much effort into the story, and it definitely shows.
Yes, and our Prosper athletes are still going up until that last bell rings.
Don't leave, game time is up next.
Here we go.
Prosper sports are still going strong.
Zangia Hungary is in studio with this week's Game Time.
Thanks, Imogen. This is the last game time of the year, and every sport is done except baseball. Our Prosper baseball team played against Mansfield Legacy last Sunday, beating them in Game 3 and winning 2-1 and advanced to the regional finals. But unfortunately, our baseball seniors will be playing this Thursday during our graduation ceremony. So for them, there will be a special graduation tonight at 6:30 at our own baseball field. Everyone is welcome to attend and cheer for them. Speaking of cheering, here's another award winner.
On Tuesday, Prosper Cheer participated in the PISD Cheer Showcase, where they presented their skills and teamwork to the community alongside other schools in the district. The event highlighted their hard work and dedication as they prepare for the upcoming national competition.
Today is an event for UCA and NCA and UIL, and it incorporates Prosper, Rock Hill, and Walnut. For most of these teams, we only get 1 or 2 competitions that we can compete at, so this is a good opportunity to not only prove ourselves, but our town and our school what we've been working on.
Walnut Grove made their nationals debut last year, and now Rock Hill will also compete for the first time. Along with that, the challenge of defending their title becomes even more intense, as all 3 teams fight for the top spot at nationals.
Obviously, there is sort of a competitiveness added to it. When we face challenges, we obviously have to come together as a team to overcome those things. It can be really hard sometimes, especially when someone's not having the best day. We always have to be encouraging towards one another, regardless of the circumstances, so that we can just push forward and move on as a team.
At the end of the day, despite the rivalry, Walnut Grove, Prosper, and Rock Hill share one goal.
Beyond placements and beyond scores or awards or victories or anything like that, I think it's just to leave the mat with no regrets.
One thing about cheerleading is it's not just about what you can do, it's about what your teams can do. There's no individual aspect on the team, so just supporting each other, supporting your team, supporting the other teams as you go through what is very hard 2 to 3 minute routines and just really pushing each other. The ultimate goal is to hit 0, and that's something that all cheerleaders strive to do at every competition.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Callie Swick.
Well, Maddie, everything is better in Texas, and this goes for cheer and this story. Through Callie's hard work, it won ILPC top in Texas, which means that it's #1 general sports story in the state. Congratulations, Callie.
This year, ENN won a Texas State Gold Star from ILPC, first place state Best of Show from TAJE Fall Fiesta, and a National Broadcast Excellence Award from STN.
We want to thank our amazing crew and, of course, Mr. Hatch for making all this possible.
Well, that's all we have for this season of Eagle Nation News. Thank you for letting us tell your stories. Once again, I'm Maddie Kep.
And I'm Imogen Press. Have a great summer, and we'll see you next year. Go Eagles!